Hello everyone, Giltar here with a Kamen Rider action figure review for week 3 of Rider Fest. This time we'll be looking at the S.I.C Kamen Rider Ixa and Dark Kiva 2-figure pack. Now before I head any further into my review, just as I did with my S.I.C Kiva review that I posted recently, I'm going to try mixing up my format for reviewing just to see if I can find something else that works for me and that can also hopefully refresh the reviews that I'm providing through my channel here, because I've pretty much been doing reviews for several months now, and it's pretty much all been the same. I'd like to bring something new and fresh to them while still retaining my sort of main preference of providing as much information as I can for my reviews, because I want to make sure that you guys know what you're getting into before buying these products, or at least it'll help you consider whether or not to buy these products. So yeah, I'm going to try something a little new. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And if not, well, I'm going to still be experimenting. Probably my next several videos for reviewing, I'll be introducing some experimentational methods just to see if I can find something else that works. So let's get on to the review itself. So here is Ixa and Dark Kiva. They were released as Volume 54 of S.I.C. And it came out in, I think, May of 2010, so just a few months ago. The retail price is 5,500 yen, which is just over $60 American at current exchange rates. And I'm going to say this right now, I'm going to recommend this action figure set, and for several reasons. So let's get into the pros and cons right away. The pros: why do I think I should be recommending this two-figure set to you guys? First of all, yeah, over $60, kind of high. But if you consider that you're getting two figures for it, if you divide it down the middle, you're basically paying just over $30 for each. That in itself makes these figures relatively inexpensive in the Japanese high-end action figure market, where a lot of figures are around that price, if not higher. Including Bandai's other S.I.C figures. S.I.C Kiva, for example, was 4,500 yen. So for an extra 1,000 yen, for basically an extra somewhat over $10 American, you're getting an extra action figure with its own set of accessories. Both of these figures come with a wide assortment of accessories to display them with. So first of all, the first strong pro I have to say for this: you're getting a lot for your money if you consider the other S.I.C figures that are on the market. Secondly, like all S.I.C products, these are just really well done. Visually speaking, they're just really wonderful to look at. Excellent display pieces. You can put them up on a shelf or in a display case, and I'm pretty sure most people's eyes will be drawn to them first thing, or among the first things that people look to. They're fairly large. They're about 7 inches tall, or actually a little taller than that. Really well detailed. Paint applications are wonderful. Sculpting is great. The designs of the costumes that have been revamped from the television show costumes, I mean, already they look good, but as S.I.C sort of visualized designs, these look even better. They look not necessarily more realistic, but a little more sort of I guess high budget. If you compare a TV show costume budget to a big blockbuster movie costume budget, that's how I would compare it. The spandex Batman suit from the 60s, Adam West TV show, compared to Batman Begins or the Dark Knight costume, for example. The differences between the two costume designs that are going towards the original Batman sort of iconic costume, but both going in their own directions. The S.I.C sort of style designs just really look great for display. Now, in addition to display, which is the primary reason to get these figures, because they're not toys that you would play around with, display value, very important. So yeah, they look great, but guess what? They also have excellent articulation. Not the best in the world, but very impressive nevertheless. I mean, take a look at Dark Kiva here, with its ability to be posed with both soles of the feet flat on the surface of this table at extreme angles for the ankles, knees, and hips combined. It's just really rare to see that kind of posability in action figures, period. So you're getting great display value because of the posability of the figures. In addition, the accessories, you're actually given the accessories to display these figures in various incarnations of the characters in the show. So for example, Dark Kiva was originally used, I guess, by the Emperor character, and then it was briefly I guess, taken over or given to Otoya Kurenai. And then finally, the current generation of Dark Kiva is Taiga. And so, depending on how you display the figure, you can display the figure as one of those characters. So if you have the figure as it is now, with the Jakoda or Jakoder accessory in rod sword form, then this would represent Taiga, the current generation of Dark Kiva. If you display it with this large sword called the Zondat sword, then it would be the Emperor or original Dark Kiva on the TV show. And finally, just give me a moment here while I get it. You can display the figure with the Bloody Rose violin that comes with this figure set, and if you do so, then it would be Otoya. So depending on how you accessorize the figure for display, you have options to display the figure as sort of 3 different characters. So in a way, you're not just getting one Dark Kiva, you're getting multiple Dark Kivas depending on how you accessorize it. The same thing goes with Ixa here, which you could display as the original pilot or user of the Ixa system, which is Jiro. You could display it as Otoya. You could display it as Nago Keisuke, the current generation Ixa user. Again, depending on how you equip it, because it comes with both the burst mode and save mode heads, and with the 1986 generation of Ixa users, they only had this head, for example. They didn't have the Fuessels, which I don't have equipped here, so you could leave the Fuessels off. Just the various things you could do with it in terms of accessorizing it for display. Ixa also has several incarnations you could display it as. So yeah, you're getting 2 figures, but then you're getting so much display value out of them because a combination of just their good appearance, their posability because of the good articulation, and the ability to display them with different accessory combinations to display them as different types of characters, or rather different characters on the show. So you're getting a lot of display value out of these 2 figures. And finally, just touching upon it, the wide assortment of accessories that you saw there. Now, Excalibur, for example, has the gun form. You attach this blade component, it becomes the Excalibur sword form, and then you have also this ammunition clip that normally should be clipped on, which I just left off, but you can clip that on as well. So that's one example of how the accessories are not only numerous, but you have various combinations of configurations that you can put them in. Now, one thing I do want to note is that you actually do get 2 Ixa knuckles for Ixa. There's one Ixa knuckle that is actually molded as part of a fist, so it's not separable. And so you just equip it, you remove the pegged hand from Ixa there, put this in. Now, you only get a right hand for it, but once you put this on, you have the Ixa knuckle, and then you can actually remove the portion of the Ixa knuckle from the belt there. And unlike the SH Figure Arts version, these are actually the same scale, the same size. So you don't have one large Ixa knuckle and one small Ixa knuckle. So that's one good thing about this, is that some people might want a separate Ixa knuckle, but I like this because there's no issue with wearing down or breaking the grip hand, because this is all a single molded piece here. And look, the sculpt is great, paint applications, no problems there. Again, it's just a very, very nice looking product here, all around. Now, those are the strong points, the pros. What are the cons? First of all, I have to consider the price. It is high, and like I said before, if you split it down the middle, it's just over $30 each. But again, it's a high price. You have to buy these figures as a set. You can't just pick one or the other, for $30 each. You have to buy 2. It's going to be $60 and over, because you have to pay shipping or an import fee markup price. So it's not exactly the cheapest product in the world, and that is something for people to consider who are on a limited budget. Another thing to consider is that there is some quality control issues, not with Dark Kiva, which actually all around looks wonderful, but Ixa here, I don't know if it's because of the white paint and just the white coloring of the costume, but I guess manufacturing issues are more apparent. Like, there are seam lines, there are gouges or indentations from, I guess, not really separating from sprues, but I'm not sure how they manufacture them, but there are some sort of physical dents going on. I don't know why. The paint application for some of the parts is sloppy. The weathering back here for the back part of the vents, they just look messy. They look like stains and not weathering. There's some, I don't know, issues with just these gouges or marks rather on the forearm plastic pieces, and just all around it kind of looks like, to be honest, an amateur paint job on this figure. It doesn't look like something that was produced as part of the S.I.C line. I don't know if it's just a problem with my Ixa or a particular production batch of the Ixa figure, but there's quality control issues there, and I was really surprised to see it. Now, fortunately, Dark Kiva is flawless all around. It just looks great. No issues with manufacturing with respect to the molding of the sculpt. Paint is impeccable. Everything's just fine, especially here on the head with all these details with the silver, sort of turquoise blue, gold paints around compound eyes. Even sort of the lattice work of like the stained glass motif in the shoulder armor. Yeah, no issues there, and that's just a removable piece of armor. It just pegs into the thigh. Don't worry about that. But yeah, just for some reason, ICSA here just has some issues with quality control, whereas Dark Kiva didn't. So I guess 1 out of 2 isn't terrible. It's not too bad, but that is something I don't know if it's, again, widespread or not. So that's something to consider. You might get some issues with ICSA. Another issue, and really the final issue, is just, and this is really a nitpick, and I don't mind it, but I know some people out there have voiced, negative opinions of it. But the grip hands of Dark Kiva and ICSA don't hold the weapons that well. Now with Dark Kiva, it can actually hold the Jakoda or Jakoda with no problems, but if you have it holding the Bloody Rose Violin bow or the Zanvat sword, it is a little loose in the hand, so you do have to fiddle around with it in order to get it stable. And the same thing goes with ICSA and holding the Excalibur here. It's really loose, so it's really just how it's positioned and the force of gravity that's just keeping it there and not moving around. But if you move it around, it'll jostle. So that is something that, again, I don't mind because I can get it posed how I want it with no problems. But some people, it really sort of, I guess, annoys them if grip hands don't hold weapons that well, that tightly. So that is something to consider as well. I'm just throwing it out there because honestly, it's such a good product set. I need to, I guess, include another little flaw or con just so that it doesn't seem like I'm too biased for this product. But yeah, really great all around. Now as far as accessories go, you already saw several of them. Really great looking. Just for a moment here, the Zanvat sword I think is made of transparent plastic because it is actually transparent in the middle, and you have all these paint applications over it, like the silver, gold, red, and black. That's all paint. So it's quite interesting. It is somewhat flexible, so it's not the typical clear plastic formula that makes very brittle, stiff plastic. So this is a little more durable. So that's a good sign, especially for a lot of people are wary of clear plastics because they are more fragile. Now as far as accessories go, let me just bring up the package. Again, the Bloody Rose Violin, several sets of hands. Now with ICSA, you get basically 2 fist hands that are attached to the figure by default. You get, what else here? 1 grip hand, 1 ICSA knuckle hand, and then 2 open hands. Dark Kiva gets 2 fists, which are again by default attached to the figure, 2 open hands, really for more like holding the Bloody Rose Violin in one hand, and then 2 sort of Kiva-esque pose hands, and then 1 right grip hand for the sword, or either sword rather, or the Bloody Rose Violin bow. You also get 6 vessels for each. Dark Kiva has a Dark Wake Up, Doran, Brun, and then it has 3 seal vessels to seal Basha, Garulu, and Doga. ICSA also has 6 vessels. It has the sort of fake vessels for summoning Basha, Garulu, and Doga. It also has a vessel for the knuckle caliber empowered sort of weapons or technology pieces. So yeah, they both have a lot of vessels. I don't have any attached, but there are circular pegs on each side of the belt, 3 each side, and you basically peg the vessels onto it. Whoops. What else do we have here? Well, again, you have the ICSA at least has 2 heads that can be attached, either the save mode head or the burst mode head. And just like with SH Figuarts Kamen Rider ICSA figure, there's some transparent red plastic behind the faceplate, which just is such a great bit of detail, attention to detail, that it's something that most people will miss or not care about. But it's just the fact that you have red compound eyes behind the faceplate to reveal the burst mode that are revealed in the burst mode later on. I think is just a really great touch to just, again, attention to detail, which it sort of goes into the whole you're buying something high-end that has more of a careful touch to it, at least in some respects. So yeah, overall I definitely recommend this set for the reasons I laid out for the last 10 minutes or so. And so yeah, that's pretty much my review for this figure set. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for watching part of Rider Fest. We still have a couple more weeks, so I'll see you guys at the next video.